Welcome back, my love, to Skin Deep, into a space where your truth is allowed to breathe without being punished for existing. So many of us learn to walk through life holding the sharp edges of betrayal inside our chests because there was never a safe place to set the pain down. I'm Kiara Charles, and today, this space, this moment, this episode is your altar. Betrayal is not a surface wound. It is not something you get over. It is the wound that hides behind your boundaries, behind your silence, behind your independence, behind your strength. It is the wound that teaches you to smile while your heart leaks quietly in the background. But hear me with your spirit. The breaking point was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to awaken the version of you who refuses to be mishandled ever again. So today, we peel back the layers of what betrayal did to your identity, your voice, your spiritual discernment, and your purpose. And we do it with gentleness, with reverence, and with truth. Betrayal is not defined by the moment someone hurt you. It is defined by every moment afterward when you stood alone inside the collapse, trying to make sense of the truth your heart wasn't prepared to hold. Betrayal is like the earthquake that splits your inner world open and forces you to see the relationship, the person, and yourself without illusion. It is shocking. It is disorienting. It is violent. In a way, it strips off false coverings and exposes what you didn't want to acknowledge. But as painful as betrayal is, it is one of the most sacred catalysts for transformation. Because betrayal is a moment God interrupts your life to remove what your loyalty would have never let you walk away from. It is the divine collapse before divine clarity. The tearing that makes space for truth. The disruption that aligns you with destiny. This episode is the moment you stop seeing betrayal as the moment you broke and start seeing it as the moment God began rebuilding you. Betrayal is the violation of a sacred contract. It is when someone you allowed into the softest part of your heart uses that access to wound you. This is not normal hurt. This is heart-level devastation. Betrayal is the collapse of the space you believed was safe. It is the shattering of the version of them your spirit hoped they would be. And when betrayal hit a place shaped by childhood wounds, the absent parent, the inconsistent love, the broken promises, it cuts deeper because it lands on old fractures. Betrayal whispers lies like, "You should have known better. This is your fault. You're unworthy of loyalty. You're easy to abandon." But betrayal is not evidence of your unworthiness. It is evidence of their unreadiness to handle someone with your depth. And spiritually, betrayal becomes the exact moment God reveals what was hidden, not to punish you, but to protect you. Betrayal is revelation wearing the mask of heartbreak. Psychologically, betrayal is an earthquake inside the nervous system. It does not just break your heart, it breaks your internal sense of safety. Attachment injuries form when the people who are supposed to be safe become the source of your deepest harm. Your system goes into shock because the mind can't reconcile that love and danger come from the same place. Betrayal activates the survival brain. You begin scanning every environment for warning signs you missed. Your body becomes hyper alert, your spirit becomes tense, and your mind becomes loud. You replay conversations, You rewrite timelines. You search for red flags you didn't know to look for. Not because you enjoy the pain, but because your nervous system is trying to protect you from ever experiencing that rupture again. And the saddest part, you start turning on yourself. You become the villain in your own story because the real villain never apologized. But here's the truth. Betrayal tries to hide. It wasn't your job to prevent their wrongdoing. It was their responsibility not to betray you. Betrayal did not begin with the person who broke you as an adult. It began with the ones who shaped your understanding of trust. An absent father teaches abandonment before the world does. His silence becomes your first unanswered question. His distance becomes your first self-blame, and his lack becomes your first belief that love can choose to walk away. A mother's projection, inconsistency, or emotional betrayals create fractures in places where you should have felt safest. She was supposed to be the protector, but instead became the mirror that reflected everyone's wounds except her own. Extended family adds another layer. People who smile in your face but left you defenseless when danger came. People who claim to love you but loved the version of you that served them. These betrayals didn't just hurt, they conditioned you. They trained you to tolerate emotional starvation. They prepared your heart to accept crumbs because crumbs were the first form of love you ever knew. You did not walk into adulthood naive. You walked into adulthood wounded. Betrayal doesn't just sit in your mind. It buries itself in your behaviors. You begin to overthink, not because you're indecisive, but because betrayal taught you that one wrong move can collapse everything you believe in. You erase yourself in relationships because you learned early that people love what you can give, but not who you truly are. You become hyper-independent not because you don't need anyone, but because relying on others became a luxury you could never trust. You emotionally numb out because feeling too deeply has always come with consequences. But the deepest wound, you start doubting your intuition. The very voice God placed inside of you becomes muted under the weight of everyone who mishandled your trust. And shame begins to whisper, "You should have known better." But your spirit must counter with the truth. I loved honestly, and that is not a flaw. Betrayal follows you long after the relationship ends. It walks into boardrooms with you. It stands behind you in meetings. It sits beside you in moments when you want to speak, but your body remembers the pain of being silenced. You shrink in rooms, not because you're small, but because your spirit learned early that being seen can come with consequences. You hesitate to share your brilliance because the last time you opened your heart or your ideas, someone stole what was sacred and left you carrying the fallout alone. You over-explain because betrayal taught you that people misunderstand your intentions on purpose. You fear collaboration because the people who claimed they were on your side weaponize your vulnerability. This is not incompetence. This is trauma speaking, and your body is still trying to protect you. Internally, betrayal becomes a haunting. You revisit conversations in your dreams. You replay the moment the truth shattered your illusion. You hold yourself accountable for decisions made with information you didn't have. Your heart develops a fear of vulnerability because the last time you opened up, someone used your truth to destroy you. You stop trusting your inner voice because the world convinced you that your intuition is unreliable. when really, it was your loyalty that blinded you. This is the dark truth. Betrayal makes you punish yourself for someone else's sin. But your healing begins when you stop apologizing for trusting the wrong person and start honoring yourself for surviving them. Externally, betrayal looks like isolation. You pull away not because you don't care, but because your soul is exhausted from holding wounds no one protected. Your boundaries become sharper, firmer, non-negotiable, because now you understand that access to you is sacred and not everyone deserves it. You develop radical independence, not because you hate connection, but because trusting the wrong hands costs you peace. This version of you is not cold. She is cautious. She is not distant. She is discerning. She is not unloving. She is unsupervised healing emotion. Betrayal didn't just show up one day. It grew inside me from the moment I was born. My father was my first betrayal, choosing absence over presence, distance over responsibility. And before I even understood the world, I learned that love could reject me without giving me a reason. My mother betrayed me in quieter ways, opening doors I closed, revealing secrets I trusted her with, turning my vulnerability into conversation. And as a child, you don't know that's betrayal. You think it's your fault. You think you're too sensitive. You think you're the problem. But I see now. These were fractures being carved into the foundation of my identity. My aunts and uncles betrayed me with silence. They embraced me when it was convenient, performed love when people were watching, but left me abandoned when protection was needed most. They enjoyed my light, but never guarded it. They loved my heart, but never carried it gently. I was a step stool, a source of emotional labor, not a child to cherish. Their betrayal didn't come through knives. It came through absence, neglect, and pretending. And I internalized all of it as normal. The deepest betrayal came from my husband, the one person I believed was safe, the one person I trusted with the darkest part of my past. He was the first one I told about the abuse I endured. He held my story, and then handed it to people who had no right to hold it. Each time he exposed my pain, it felt like a fresh wound. What began as comfort became exploitation. And then one day, his older sister approached me crying, saying, "I know how you feel, because it happened to me too." My spirit froze. My intuition surged. God whispered, "This is bigger than betrayal. This is revelation. This is purpose trying to reveal itself through your heartbreak." Betrayal pushed me into spiritual isolation. I couldn't trust my family. I couldn't trust my husband. And I wasn't sure I could trust myself. But it was in the isolation that God began speaking to me clearly. For we are not fighting against flesh and blood enemies, but against evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world, against mighty powers in this dark world, and against evil spirits in heavenly places. I started seeing people spiritually, not emotionally. Motives became clear. Masks fell off. Intentions revealed themselves. This clarity was painful, but it was holy. Betrayal was the lens God used to help me see my calling. Spiritually, betrayal is not punishment. It is divine exposure. God reveals what has been harming you long before you recognize the symptoms. Psalm 118:8 says, "It's better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man." This is the scripture that betrayal activates. It is the moment when God interrupts your loyalty to redirect your trust back to Him. And Luke 8:17 tells us, "For nothing is hidden that will not be disclosed," meaning every betrayal, every lie, every motive, every secret was always going to come to the light. Betrayal is often the answer to a prayer you didn't know how to pray. It is God saying, "My child, this person cannot go with you into the next version of yourself." Discernment is born in the ashes of disillusionment. Spiritual clarity sharpens when human trust shatters. Pain becomes a doorway where purpose walks in. The divine reframe is heaven's perspective breaking into your pain. Genesis 50:20 declares, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good." This scripture is the soul of the betrayal wound, the reminder that human intention can never override divine protection. You didn't lose them, God removed them. You weren't rejected, you were redirected. You weren't abandoned, you were preserved. He allowed the betrayal because their presence in your next season would have become bondage. God does not expose what He plans to keep. He does not reveal what He intends to restore. He reveals what He is releasing you from. Healing betrayal psychologically is a process of reclaiming your mind from confusion, chaos, and cognitive dissonance the betrayal created. Let's walk through each step. Accept the truth. The first stage of healing is acceptance, not agreement, not approval, not "I'm okay with what happened." Acceptance means consciously saying, "This happened, this is who they were, this is what they chose." The mind tries to protect you from pain by creating alternative explanations. Maybe they didn't mean it. Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe it wasn't that bad. Truth is the key that unlocks psychological freedom. You cannot heal from a lie you keep telling yourself. Stop minimizing. People who grew up in environments of emotional neglect learn to downplay their pain to survive. You say things like, "I'm overreacting. It wasn't that serious. Other people have it worse." Minimizing is a trauma response, not a personality trait. It's the mind's attempt to create safety by pretending that the injury was smaller than it actually was. Stopping the minimizing means acknowledging the full impact of what happened without diluting it to protect the betrayer. Grieve the fantasy. Most people don't grieve the person. They grieve the version of the person they thought they were. The fantasy version you held in your heart was built from hope, loyalty, and longing. But fantasies are dangerous because they keep you bonded into a false identity. Grieving the fantasy means releasing what you wanted them to be so you can accept who they actually were. This is where the deepest tears live, not in losing them, but in losing the dream you built around them. Release self-blame. Betrayal tricks your mind into believing you somehow deserved it. You replay conversations and rewrite your memories trying to find the moment you failed. But betrayal is a reflection of their character, never your worth. Releasing self-blame means declaring, "I did not cause your choices. Your betrayal is not my responsibility to carry." This is one of the most liberating psychological shifts you will ever experience. Rebuild internal safety. Betrayal damages your sense of safety, but healing rebuilds it. Internal safety looks like trusting your intuition again, learning to self-soothe in moments of pain, developing boundaries without guilt, building a life where you no longer abandon yourself. Internal safety says, I choose me even when others don't. It's the foundation that realigns your mind with your worth. This psychological work is the soil your spiritual healing will grow from. Spiritually, betrayal is not just an event, it's a consecration. It is God placing his hand on you and saying, this person, this situation, this attachment cannot follow you into where I'm taking you. Let me break down how to heal spiritually after betrayal. Ask God for revelation. When betrayal happens, your emotions become loud, your thoughts become scattered, your spirit becomes overwhelmed. This is why revelation is essential. Asking God for revelation means, Lord, show me what I couldn't see. Show me what my heart was too loyal to notice. Reveal the truth beneath the surface, and God will show you. He reveals motives, intentions, spiritual assignments, and hidden conversations not to hurt you again, but to free you from confusion. Revelation replaces self-blame with clarity. Cut soul ties. Soul ties are emotional, spiritual, and energetic bonds that keep you connected to someone long after a relationship has ended. You can leave the person physically, but the tie keeps your mind looping, your emotions inflamed, and your spirit heavy. Cutting a soul tie means I sever every invisible thread that keeps me bound to this person's approval, their memory, their rejection, and their betrayal. This is not about hate. It is about spiritual release. It is about freeing your energy so God can realign you with relationships that are safe. Reclaim your voice. Betrayal silences you. It makes you speak smaller, move quieter, doubt your brilliance, and apologize for existing. Reclaiming your voice means honoring the truth that betrayal tried to bury. It means saying, I will no longer shrink myself to make others comfortable. I will speak with the authority that betrayal awakened inside of me. Your voice is not just communication, it's identity. Reclaim it boldly. Anchor discernment. Discernment is the spiritual wisdom that betrayal activates. Before betrayal, you saw people through your heart. After betrayal, you start seeing them through your spirit. Anchoring discernment means learning to trust the nudge, the uneasiness, the hesitation, the shift in tone, the discomfort you can't explain. It means telling yourself, my spirit is speaking, and I will no longer ignore it. Discernment becomes your protection, not your paranoia. Declare closure. Closure is a spiritual decision, not an emotional one. You don't wait for apologies. You don't wait for explanations. You don't wait for them to understand the harm they caused. You speak closure over yourself. You declare, I release what has released me. I walk away from what does not honor me. I seal every open door in spirit. I choose my peace over this connection. When you declare closure out loud, the spirit realm responds. You close every portal that betrayal opened. You reclaim your power. This spiritual healing process is how you rise from betrayal, not broken, but reborn. Integration is the moment where everything you've learned, everything your body felt, everything your mind processed, and everything your spirit awakened to comes together to form the new you. Yes. This is not the healing. This is the becoming. Let's walk through both sides. Psychological integration. Self-loyalty. Psychologically, healing begins when you stop betraying yourself to keep other people comfortable. Self-loyalty means I no longer negotiate my worth for someone else's approval. It is the reclaiming of your inner authority. Boundary restoration. Betrayal destroys boundaries. Integration rebuilds them, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. You begin to understand what excess cost you, and you start to protect your peace accordingly. Boundaries become a form of emotional sobriety. Nervous system stabilization. Your body stops living in fight or flight. You begin to breathe again. You stop waiting for the next emotional attack. The trauma response settles, not because you forget the betrayal, but because your system no longer sees it as a threat to your identity. Cognitive clarity. You stop replaying the betrayal, trying to rewrite the ending. You stop blaming yourself for what someone else chose to do. Your mind becomes clear, grounded, and aligned. You see the relationship for what it actually was, not what you wish it had been. Identity reconstruction. Betrayal breaks the version of you that tolerated disrespect, overgave, and minimized your needs. Integration is where you reconstruct your identity back to wholeness, back to authenticity, back to the version of you that betrayal tried to bury. Now, spiritual integration. Discernment activation. Spiritually, betrayal awakens a level of discernment you never had before. You begin to sense energy shifts. You catch subtle red flags. You see people's intentions before they speak a word. Your spiritual vision becomes sharp. Soul reclamation. Every betrayal seals a piece of your soul. Integration is the moment God says, take your power back. You reclaim the parts of you that were silenced, dismissed, or manipulated. Your spirit returns to fullness. Energetic detachment. This is where the soul ties break. The emotional weight lifts. The person no longer holds space in your heart or mind. Their energy no longer sits in your spirit. Their presence no longer influences your decisions. You are free. Divine alignment. You begin to realize that betrayal was not the detour. It was divine direction. God removed what blocks your path so your destiny could unfold without interference. Alignment feels like peace, clarity, and forward motion. Last but not least, purpose awakening. Every betrayal is connected to purpose. Integration is the moment you understand why. Your story becomes your strength. Your wound becomes your wisdom, and your pain becomes your platform. You step into the version of you who no longer is defined by betrayal, but elevated because of it. Integration is not returning to who you were. It is becoming the person you were always meant to be. Repeat this affirmation after me. I no longer bleed for those who were never meant to hold my heart. This affirmation is your spiritual reset. It is the declaration that the emotional labor, the self-abandonment, the overgiving, and the heartbreak that betrayal pulled out of you is no longer your normal. Let me break it down. I no longer bleed. This means I am done pouring myself out for people who only take. I am done sacrificing my peace for connections that drain my spirit. I am done giving love that isn't protected, honored, respected, or reciprocated. Bleeding represents spiritual hemorrhaging, the slow loss of self that happens when you love people who mishandle your heart. This is you saying, the leak in my spirit ends today. For those who were never meant, this acknowledges destiny, purpose, divine alignment. Not everyone who enters your life was meant to stay. Not everyone who walked with you was assigned to your path. Some people were seasonal. Some people were lessons. Some were karmic mirrors. Some were tests of discernment. This line breaks the illusion that you lost something valuable. No, God removed who couldn't go where you're going next. And finally, to hold my heart. Your heart is sacred. Your vulnerability is sacred. Your love is sacred. Your story is sacred. Your presence is sacred. Your purpose is sacred. This line means you finally accept that not everyone had the capacity, the character, the spiritual maturity, or the emotional intelligence to hold something as rare as you. Your heart requires protection, not exposure, discernment, not desperation, alignment, not attachment. This is you reclaiming the truth. My heart is a divine assignment, and not everyone was chosen for it. The final meaning of this affirmation: I am no longer a sacrifice on the altar of someone else's dysfunction. I am no longer a vessel for betrayal. I now love in a way that honors my value, respects my boundaries, and protects my destiny. That is you now. That is you after healing through the betrayal. Thank you, my love, for walking through this sacred space with me today. Betrayal is a heavy wound, the kind that reshapes your identity from the inside out, but it's also the wound that awakens your spiritual vision, your boundaries, your discernment, and your purpose. If something stirred inside of you during this episode, if you felt God touching the parts of you that betrayal tried to silence, then your healing journey is not stopping here. I created a betrayal healing meditation specifically for the residue this wound leaves behind. The tension in your body, the ache in your heart, the spiritual heaviness betrayal attaches to your spirit. It's linked in the description and tagged at the end of this video. But if you feel led to go deeper, to continue this work in your daily life, to transform these lessons into lifestyle healing, I've created tools to support your journey. I invite you to explore my healing journal, designed to guide you through emotional release, inner child restoration, shadow integration, and identity rebuilding. This journal is not just pages. It is a companion for the version of you that is emerging from this womb. And if your spirit is calling for more personalized guidance, you can also book a one-on-one healing session with me. This is where we walk through your story, your patterns, your spiritual gifts, your breakthroughs with clarity and compassion. And for those of you on a deeper spiritual path, I've curated a collection of spiritual tools on my website, kiaracharles.com. Tools for grounding, clearing energy, strengthening intuition, and reconnecting with God and your higher self. Again, all of these resources are live at kiaracharles.com, waiting for you whenever your soul is ready. Let them be your next step. Let them be your release. Let them be where your spirit exhales. Until next time, walk in clarity, walk in discernment, walk in self-loyalty, and remember, God does not expose what He plans to keep. You were removed from whatever was never meant to carry your heart. Stay rooted, my love. Stay focused and stay skin deep.